is to document what I made and how I made it. This is a button that has a swipe effect. It's done all with HTML and CSS. There's no JavaScript in here. Here's the code for Dreamweaver that I used. I'm going to roll slowly. Y'all can pause the video as you need it. Here's the HTML. You think this is a mistake? It's not. This Z index puts everything behind, so the span box is behind all of that. It's in positioning the items that are positioned. The span box will be the last. It's the one behind all of it, and I did that. That's done so that you'll see on the CSS selector, you're selecting this. When the button hovers, the width of your span box goes from 0 to 250, but because it's behind everything, it doesn't mark out your type. Your type that says swipe is above everything. So when you roll over it, swipe, it's behind it, not above it. And if you do, the Z index does that. And this selects the span when you hover over the button, because the button's on top and the span's on the bottom. And so you have to figure out how you're going to select it. The width was 250 pixels because the button itself is 250 pixels. This is from the example that I was using. This is, so you've got basically an all selector, a body selector, a button selector, a span selector, and then this selector, the hover selector. There's not a lot of selectors on here. This came from one of my examples. I'm going to show that in a minute. This button, you have to position it, so it's relative, and then the app is, this allows you to use absolute on the span, so you can put it exactly where you want to put it. But technically, the span is on top until you tell it the Z index is underneath. So it's the span button that are in absolute position, and it's the button that's in relative position. This was a color I got from my example. Transparent is good to note here, because the color is not in the button. The color that you're seeing that swipes across is on the span. The color of the text is white here, orange. This is a little bit different because I was playing around with color. I think I took that out. I did. I can take this out. Okay, so I'm hitting F5. Yeah. And then my samples came from here. This guy on CodeCavra, but he did it in SCSS, and I don't know that. It was extremely complicated. I finally just Googled this. I think I Googled slide slide button or something. This is the channel Codemasters, but I wanted to make a recording of this so that I had the resource saved.